Hey, I'm back with No Frills Hi-Fi. Today I'm looking at the Fosi Audio Box X5. So I did a review of the Box X4 not too long ago. So I kind of wanted to take a look at this X5. I did upgrade my cartridge in my turntable. I went from a moving magnet to moving coil. So unfortunately, I can't use the Box X4. So I've put it back in the box here. I really did enjoy it. I like the tubes. I'm a tube guy. So I kind of had to think, do I splurge on, some crazy expensive preamp that's a tube preamp? And I've got some other ones that I like, but I really like Fosi. I've had good luck with them, so I really wanted to try out the Box X5 and kind of compare the two a little bit. Just for the unboxing here, I don't know if you can see in the box there, but I got the little instructions there. Got a power supply here. I think that's a 24. No, it's a 16 volt. So we got the power supply. There's not really much to this. It's just a box and a power supply, which I kind of like. I like simplicity. And really, for a phono preamp, you wouldn't expect to see, a whole lot of stuff. Some people call this a phono stage. I guess I kind of got used to calling it a phono preamp, and most companies now call them a photo preamp. I have been corrected, of course, online because that's what people like to do. But I'm going to call it a phono preamp, so we're going to go with that. But like I said, really simple. Got a little hole right there, which I'm assuming is going to be some kind of a light that will light up when it's plugged in and turned on. And to turn it on, we've got this Fosi orange button. They're kind of going to that with all their stuff. It's kind of a neat color. It stands out really well, so you can kind of see it if the lighting's not great. And on the back, we've got input and output for RCA, and we've got the typical ground lug here that just unscrews. So it's got a hole in the side. You can use a bare wire, you could use a spade. I use banana plugs a lot because I change stuff all the time, so it's nice to just unplug and plug it back in, not worrying about screwing things in and out. I know that's pretty lazy. That's a kind of a first world problem, but that's where we're at. And then, of course, the power port right there. This dial, though, if you're not familiar, if you haven't used a moving coil cartridge, and if you're not planning on it, you can use this too. It works for moving magnet and moving coil. If you don't know which one you have, you probably have moving magnet. This little dial, though, allows you to adjust how much gain that you have. Gain is different from volume. Volume, you don't have a volume control on this. You will control volume through a separate either preamp or amp that has it. But if you do have a moving coil cartridge, you will want to look at the specifications. I'm using a Denon DL103R. It uses 0.25 millivolts. I will double check that before I plug into this, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So actually it's already set to what I need. It has several options here: 38 decibels, 48 decibel, 56 decibel, 66 decibels. So that is how much gain or how much it amplifies the signal. It's a preamp. I was holding it upside down for you there. So this, you want to just turn that dial and set it to whatever fits your cartridge. If you're using moving magnet, you're going to want to flick this switch over to where it says MM, and you're going to want to go to one of the lower settings. I would start out at the lower setting. If you're having to really crank up the volume or you're not really hearing all the music, you may want to turn that up one notch. I would not go further than that. Unless you have some strange low output moving magnet cartridge. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist, and I'll be corrected if I say it doesn't. But for the most part, the two lowest settings are going to be for moving magnet. The two highest settings are going to be for moving coil. Now, there are two different types of moving coil for the purposes of what we're talking about today. There's low output and high output. I have a low output, so I'm going to go over to the highest gain. If you have a high output, there are different levels of that. If you have a high output, you may be able to go to that second one up, but a lot of high output moving coil cartridges have the same output as moving magnet cartridges. So I would definitely look first before you go messing with that. I would look up the specs of your cartridge, and if you've got a moving coil, and just see how much gain that you need. If you go on the Fosi website, they actually, in the pictures there, they have a little diagram that tells you which setting to use for how much output your cartridge is. So do please make sure that that's correct. I'm going to double check mine, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be using that highest one over there. Now, if you're using moving coil, of course, you're going to switch this over to MC for moving coil. But that's pretty much it. This is one of those pieces that once you get this set up, other than hitting the power button, you're not really going to touch this thing again. It's not like you're constantly dialing in settings and all that. When you first set it up, you might say, yeah, I want a little more gain. Let me turn it up. Or, whoa, that's too much. Let me turn it down. Again, gain is different from volume. You might obviously, this is going to affect the volume. You might obviously notice that when you're messing with these, that, oh, if I turn the gain up, it gets really loud. That's true, but you want to control your volume with your preamp or amp or AVR if you're hooking up to something like that. So don't just use this as a volume switch. That's going to be really, really cumbersome and not great for your speakers and the rest of your setup. So please look up your cartridge. Once you get that set, you don't have to mess with it again. But that's pretty much it. I guess just for comparison's sake, since I've got the X4 sitting right here, just pull it out. So I don't have the tubes in it. I put it away because I'm probably not going to use it for a little while. But the only difference, really major difference between the two, if you'll notice, this is set up more like a preamp where it's got all your volume and treble and bass and all that. So it is a little bit different. If you're buying a moving magnet preamp, this probably will do you. It's like $89, I think, on their website. I don't know if I didn't put that on my cheat sheet. Probably should have. No, I did. $89.99. So if you need those things and you've got moving magnet, sure, go ahead and get this. It also has a headphone jack, which is kind of nice. This is a lot more simple. It doesn't have the rest of that stuff, but it does work with moving coil. If it was me, I probably would skip this. I would buy this, even if you have moving magnet, because as you upgrade in your system in the years to come, you might get a moving coil cartridge, and this way you don't have to buy it again. Now, if you're wanting to just hook up to something and control your volume here, maybe you just need a headphone jack, this X4 is perfect. But for me, I've kind of outgrown it. I don't need all this stuff, this adjustment on the front, because I do have a preamp and amp that I can do that with. So for me, it just didn't really fit into my system anymore. Like I said, I kind of outgrew it, but I think I'm going to have this one for quite some time. But yeah, don't forget to check it out. I'll do a video of me actually hooking it up and playing with it so you can kind of see what it's like. But yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll catch you later. Thanks.